Question everything, for the truth should not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, you got the Elaine race riots of 1919 out there in Arkansas. A lot of y'all probably don't know nothing about the Elaine race riots of 1919 because they don't teach us our history. We under their political might and political power. And to teach true history of who we are, what has been done to us, and what is being done to us right now, they will never ever publicize that. It's up to you as Aboriginal Negro of America to search down and understand what we are, what we've been through, and what we are still in, and what we're going through based off of this system and this approach when it comes to the colonizers being the inheritors of our oppression and maintaining our suffering. We know that to be the truth. We know we haven't been liberated. So with that stated, in 1919, the Elaine race riots popped off because the colonizers felt like the Aboriginal Negroes of America was going to rise up and overturn white supremacy based off of sharecropping and a lot of other stuff that was going on with the farming back then when it comes to cotton and so on, and how our people really was the dominance of Arkansas at that time, outnumbering the colonizers 10-1. And it was getting to a point where they was farming, but they wasn't making no money off of the crops that they was, yielding based off of the legislate and the laws and the business practices of back then. No different from right now. But the difference is white folk didn't like it, and things got uneasy, to say the least. And with that, the race riot of 1919 popped off with the colonizers coming from everywhere, and just was open season on our people. No different from what you've seen in January 6th Resurrection, how they were just flying from everywhere, coming from everywhere in that sense. Well, it was the same thing in 1919. And from what you're going to find out when you look up Elaine Massacre of 1919, you're going to find out that anybody that was an Aboriginal Negro was up for deletion. Anybody. From some word of mouth and some documents, they were saying that they can catch you just out in the fields, women, children, you name it. And it was just practice, open practice on you to be able to just mass delete our people. Hundreds of Aboriginal Negroes of America got displaced, sort of say, if you know what I mean. And because of it, we tend to hush up in a sense of this information based off of the information not being pushed out from mainstream media or the school curriculums and programs teaching us about our history. So we don't know that there was race riots from the time of the Emancipation Proclamation all throughout history, all the way leading us all the way to the 1900s, literally, of our businesses being destroyed, our homes being destroyed, our communities being destroyed, our people being, deleted, and many other things. So when we talk about reparations, it's way greater than just slavery, being POWs on our own land. It goes far deeper than that. Because at the end of the day, we've been through all sorts of stuff. Because Jim Crow laws was a form of slavery. Racism, till to this day, is a form of slavery. Because without the hatred of racism, there's no shackles. So to maintain racism and hatred in the form of what the federal census of ethnic hate crime state, that hate crimes against us jumped 1,000-fold and we number one on the list, it shows that not really too much have changed by the paperwork of how to deal with the Aboriginal Negroes. See, we talk about Jim Crow laws as if they are done away with, but you're mass incarcerated more than anybody in the whole entire world. make that make sense. Obviously, something is not done away with if we're still the target market for mass production when it comes to prison labor. The chain gang, working on the chain, yeah, yeah. That's the sound of the man working on the chain gang. That's the brothers working on the railroad and the tracks and stuff, and a rhythm to bang down spikes in order to set the tracks as they worked on the chain, which was, off the chain, which was connected to their feet, so that way they couldn't run away. We've been being mass incarcerated under these different types of low down, dirty, unaligning laws that demonize us for years now. But we haven't had nobody on a level of what we need as a whole to be pushing this information around, so that way we understand what's going on. So that way we can hold truth to what's going on in order to get real justice in the form of crime against humanity that is owed to us as a people. These are things that they don't teach us, and they don't teach other nations, so that way the other nations don't know the real atrocities that we've been through. Not many people know about the delectable Negro, but anybody can look up the delectable Negro and what they was doing and why it's called the delectable Negro. See, these things are real realities, or alligator babies. Alligator babies, and what they did with our babies to catch certain animals. These are all things that they don't teach anymore, or some of the greatest leather to ever be made into clothing. Yeah, these are some of the things they don't talk about, because it's horrific that our ancestors and forefathers and grandparents had to survive and go through. Many didn't survive. The ones that survived is the reason why we here right now being able to talk. This is just that reality. See, but yet still we in 2024, and they still hold true to not wanting to give us justice. They still hold true to not wanting to acknowledge their crimes against our people. They still hold true to passing on the generational wealth that they made off of those atrocities against our people, but yet still don't want to give us no justice for it. But at the same time, want to hold us accountable for survival work, trying to survive without no resources being allocated to our communities and no economic growth being allocated to our communities after what they done to us. Go figure. And in turn, mass incarcerating us to the fullest. But the moment you ask for justice in the form of reparations for what they have done to us, putting us in this position to have to do survival work because we don't have no more businesses on the level that we had, no more farms on the level that we had, 250,000 acres of farmland gone. But we can't get nothing back, and it was all gone from what it says, unlawfully. But these are things that they won't even teach you in school.